Today, we're going to be talking about the 10 most successful heroes of the current pro scene. I've been following the Los Angeles tournament, as a lot of you guys have. I've been looking at the statistics and really trying to pay attention to what is being successful right now, as basically that's what I do all day, every day, and I've been doing that for like 4 years. So yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for the top 10 heroes of this current meta. I think these heroes have been unbelievably successful as of late in the pro scene, but also for a lot of them in pubs as well, and if you play them correctly and analyze the pros like I've been doing, you're gonna have a lot of success within your matches as well. So recently I played a live Pugna game too that I actually recorded over, and I talk a lot about how to dominate the support role, just in general, how to make plays alone. So this can apply to the carry role, the offlane role, mid lane, and it's a really cool match that I recorded and I'm posting very soon on the main gameleap website. If you click the link down below, you're gonna be able to view that entire video. It's super cool. On top of that, I also want to mention that I recently made a 33 Chen offlane replay, so I have a lot of great content coming out. There's even more, literally I've recorded even more stuff, maybe even some secrets of top 50 players coming up in the gameleap website as well. So a lot of great stuff. Everyone who I've been talking to about the website has been enjoying it. So yeah, click the link down below and hopefully I'll see you guys there. So right away, hopping into it, we're going to be going over one of the highest win rate heroes of the tournament. Now I'm obviously not going to be covering there's Sniper, who has one game and 100% win rate. That means you should be picking Sniper, like the 4 million other people who have picked it, I believe this week or this month. I forget the exact statistic there. But basically, I'm gonna be skipping over them and getting right into Alchemist, who is the 52nd most picked hero of the tournament with 14 matches, which isn't too much. However, when I've seen Alchemist, this hero has seemed unbelievably dominant. In fact, I even made a VOD analysis on this channel showing Viking.gg Shad dominating on it, so yeah, check that out. But getting into it, this hero has 14 matches, 11 wins, 3 losses at a 79% win rate. And really what I like about Alchemist right now is I think there's so many heroes that can play high tempo. I mean, if we just look at the meta right now, you have Pangoliers running all over the place, you have Phoenixes, Ember Spirits, Void Spirits, all the offlaners pretty active heroes, even safe laners are active. We've been seeing Bristlebacks, I'm going to be talking about later on into the video. We've been seeing a ton of Weavers, Monkey Kings, and when I think of these heroes, I'm like, these aren't your traditional hard carries like the Svens and the PAs we've seen in the past. So all of a sudden, you have the safe laner and the offlaners making all the space for your team. You pick up an Alchemist late into the draft, and you're gonna win. And I recommend you do the same thing in your pubs as well if you're picking Alchemist. So what you do is you don't want to first phase this hero, because then the enemy team has a Morphling and a Timber, and it's it's not so good anymore. However, if you can pick this hero 4th or 5th, and yes, it's even fine 4th pick, even if they have counter picks, because the enemy team might actually freak out and pick a bad hero, a hero that doesn't fit their draft to quote-unquote counter you, and lose because of it. In fact, I've even seen that in the pro scene right now. I watched a game where the enemy team picked Morphling in response to the Alch, and while Morphling is a traditional Alchemist counter, it doesn't beat it hard enough to the point where Alchemist has no game, the Alchemist got a lot of farm, and they ended up winning. And I recommend you do the same thing in your pubs as well. You have to learn how to play Alchemist reliably. I see a lot of players not playing him reliably. They don't pull a lot of creep aggro, they don't buy enough regen, they don't make enough stacks for themselves, they don't get jungle items early enough, and then they end up losing their matches. But if you buy treads, 2 bracers, or a bracer and a soul ring, you get into the jungle and you can reliably get a 12 to 13 minute radiance every game. I honestly still think this hero is one of the most dominant pub heroes in the meta. Alright, next up, let's kind of shift back towards Keeper of the Light. And the reason why I want to mention Keeper of the Light is it's easily one of the most, if not the most popular support of the tournament, besides one we'll be covering a little bit later on. And the reason I want to bring up Coddle is he has a 68% win rate over 34 matches, 23-11 right now, and this hero is getting first picked. So if you're a support player, a position 5 player, and you're like, I don't know what to pick. I need a hero that can make stacks, as stacks are very proficient right now. Not only do they get jungle items, but they also, get you all that gold from the stacks that has been buffed and buffed and buffed. Right, Coddle is a god stacker, he's a god laner. Well, actually I shouldn't call him a god laner, but he's pretty reliable in lane. Blinding Light can keep most of your core safe and makes trading very effective. And overall, his team fighting is probably some of the best in the game. I mean, Will-O-Wisp is just so good. Not only does this hero make people specifically try to counter pick you, like no joke, people will pick Snapfire and Mirana just to try to kill Will-O-Wisp. That's not really worth it for them. Like, if they're not picking a good hero just to kind of counter your ulti, it's not even good. In fact, I see the same thing with Juggernauts and Lifestealers. It's like, they'll pick Juggernaut or Lifestealer in a game where it's not even necessarily good, and then the Jug and the Lifestealer gets counterpicked by some Slardar, and all of a sudden their game's GG, so they can't even kill the Will-O-Wisp, and yeah, it's just kind of a rip. So overall, Will-O-Wisp is still probably one of the best team fighting spells in Dota, as long as you position it well. If it gets one flicker off on 4 heroes, that's value, and frankly, it's not that hard to do. On top of that, we've seen the Chakra Magic Max from basically every single Cuddle. I haven't seen a single Cuddle who has not put at least 3 points in this spell before other points in other spells. And the reason for this is it just works. It works with any mid laner. If I have a Storm Spirit, or a Lina, or a Zeus, they need mana. If I have a Terrorblade, he needs mana. On top of that, you can even Chakra Magic a Terrorblade and reduce his Metamorphosis cooldown. If I have a Bristleback, well, it's GG. Next up, let's hop into Oracle, another position 5, and then we'll get back into cores. But Oracle has been the 18th most picked hero of the tournament, 31 matches at a 65% win rate. And if you've been following it, you know that a lot of the analysts are raving about this hero. And VP, the most successful team of this current Los Angeles major, has been picking this hero first, basically whenever they can get it. Recently, solo played it in an incredible match where VP absolutely stomped Enigma. It was a 41-minute match, so I guess not too much of a stomp, but a wonderful match nonetheless. And Oracle put in work. I mean, I honestly think if this hero is played at the top level, if it's played to its max, it's incredible. I mean, just having one spell that can disarm for 6 seconds on, what is it, like a 7-second cooldown? And on top of that, it gives 100% magic immunity onto any ally that you want, is crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, if an enemy team tries to burst someone that isn't you, they won't die, because you just ulti them and then heal them the full. It also pairs well with like a gajillion cores that I think are good right now. I think it pairs well with Bristle. I think it pairs well with Phantom. I think it pairs well with Alchemist. And then there's been this Troll Oracle combo that we've been seeing from a couple teams where they pick Oracle, they pick Troll, and then whenever Troll ultis, you Oracle heal him, or you Oracle ulti him, and all of a sudden this Troll is guaranteed to be full health, or close to it, when he comes out of it. And so yeah, Oracle has just been impressing me as of late. On top of that, I want to mention that this hero is a great first pick hero, contrary to a lot of popular belief that you need some weird combo to make Oracle work, such as Oracle DP, or the heroes I mentioned before. But no, not really. Oracle's a very good laner. His Q is extremely good for locking people down. It's also a TP cancel later into the game. Including his nuke, you have some of the hardest level 3 spike in Dota. In fact, your level 2 spike is potent as well. You can go for a lot of kills with this hero. And on the contrary, if you need to play defensive, you can level your W early and just be a Warlock. Like, there's not a lot of supports that have options like Oracle do right now. And so yeah, if you consider all of his options and play him properly, I think he can be a 65% win rate hero. Next up on the list, we have probably the most dominant carry of the patch, other than, I guess, Alchemist. I've been generally seeing him as a mid laner, so if you're considering playing the Alch, I would stick to him mid. But PL has been very dominant this patch, especially this tournament, with 31 games at a 61% win rate, which isn't insane. However, anything above 60% is always impressive and should be noted. And the reason for this is kind of what I said earlier. I really love all the tempo mids right now, and I think the pro teams do as well. The Pangos, Void Spirits, Embers, everything I said earlier have been super popular. Even if you've been watching a team like OG, they're picking Darkseer and Shen and Nature's Prophet. It's like, how much more offlaner can you get in the mid lane? And that's kind of what we're seeing in this meta right now. We're seeing a lot of 4 Protect 1, and I really think it works. I really do think it works, and PL is just probably the prime beneficiary of 4 Protect 1, as he's just this unbelievable hard carry. And on top of that, you pick him in a game where he has no counters, and it's kind of GG. Like, I'm sure you guys have experienced this, where you play against a PL who has a pretty free game, and it feels genuinely impossible. It's not just you. It's not just you. And even heroes like Earthshaker or the Phoenixes that are notable to sort of counter PL, he can deal with. Like, you can deal with it as long as you have this 4 Protect 1 going and other heroes making space for you, which even happens in your low MMR pubs. I mean, like, guys, this happens to 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K matches where there's just a lot of space on the map. People love to fight. So if you don't fight for a little bit of time, you hit your item timings and you come online, you're going to win. And I think the pros have been kind of just doing the same exact thing. On top of that, I've even seen PLs getting pretty active. PLs, surprisingly, can get pretty active. If you max out your Phantom Rush and the enemy team is diving your mid tier 1 or a tier 1 tower in general, I do recommend you actually show up and try to pick off the backliners or low HP heroes that don't put you in threat of danger. And yeah, if you can play PL like this, where you split push for most of the game, and then show up to advantageous fights, such as tower dives, I think you're going to have a lot of success in your pubs. Next up on the list, we have Bristleback. And yes, Bristle, oh my god, this hero is so scary right now. Recently, there was a game I was watching in the pro scene, and the Bristleback just solo kills an Alchemist over and over again. On top of that, it was so incredible to see because this Bristleback went Vanguard, I believe, in a medallion with bracers and treads, and he just has like 2k HP, is running down the lane. 4 heroes ran at him. 4. And this is in the pro scene, so generally the ganks are very coordinated, and I want you to keep this in mind. So 4 heroes are running at this Bristleback. By the way, Bristle has a good laning stage, so you're gonna get farm most game. But 4 heroes are running at him. They barely kill him. They all live on like 200 HP because of good kiting. And then, because of all this space, the entirety of the enemy team, right? The entirety of the Bristleback's team is able to kill the Alchemist. So this Bristleback makes an incredible amount of space on the opposite side of the map, which basically pseudo shuts down the Alch because it lets his team gets in. And then yeah, it is just crazy. On top of that, I want you to consider that in your pubs. If you have these proper items, the treads, or the phase boots and the bracers, and the wand, and the Vanguard, and the hood if it's a good hood game, and you run down a lane, do you think the ganks will be coordinated? Absolutely not. They will not be coordinated. You have to spam your quills, man up when people overcommit, and then you're basically gonna get double and triple kills in situations where you feel like you should have died on any other hero. And yeah, this has been the case in the pro scene as well. Like, you're just getting run down by Bristle. Pros are just getting run down by Bristle. And I've actually been thinking that Bristle's been good for a while. I really have been. And you can be like, Speed, you're just saying that to sound smart. No, I actually think this hero is a great carrier of Crimsons and Pipes that have been popular for a while, and his ultimate is quite insane. If you have 1 point in Goo and 1 point in Quills, if you cast both of the spells once, you have plus 44 damage, as well as plus 6% movement speed. Yes, consider that, guys. At level 6, with casting 2 spells that are on a 2-second cooldown and a 3-second cooldown, well, I guess I should be correct, 1.5 and a 3-second cooldown, you can gather 44 damage on a quote-unquote 3-second cooldown. That's pretty strong, considering if you really think about it, this means you're basically, if you have the mana for it, always going to have plus 88 damage. And that is from level 6 on. 88. You know how much gold 88 damage is? That's a lot of gold. Next up, we're gonna get into the most popular hero of the tournament, a hero that's been getting small buffs over and over and over and over and over and over again, and that is Phoenix. As I said, most picked hero, 66 games with a 56% win rate, so not insane. I think people are figuring out Phoenix a little bit, but it has been clear to me that this hero is popular. If you want to learn about Phoenix and hear all my thoughts, I made an entire video on it, VOD analyzing on how to play, what Saxa does on OG to stomp with this hero. So if you're interested in more of my thoughts, I'm not going to cover them as I just kind of cover them in this video because they're in the other video. So yeah, if you want to hear my thoughts on Phoenix, I recommend you check out that video. And yeah, it's just very impressive. Next up, we have Dragonite. And I've been shocked by Dragonite. I really have been because, you know, there's been a lot of speculation that this hero has been getting better, has gotten some buffs, and most notably, people are now maxing Dragon Blood a lot of games, which is kind of weird because in the past, when I saw someone max Dragon Blood, it was usually players that I didn't think were that good because they just sat in lane and didn't farm fast or couldn't gank. But that's the style of mid right now that we're seeing from Dragonite. What you do is you max your Q if your lane is super easy. If your lane's a bit hard and they can gank you, max your E, and then you walk at their tower with your ult. That's it. You just ulti off cooldown. I'm serious. You just ulti, and then ulti again, and then their tier 1's dead. You're pretty farm because you're killing only lane creeps, you're bringing all the attention to mid, away from your carry, and you're actually able to turn a lot of fights with the help of like 1 support because you're super tanky. You just buy treads, 2 bracers, maybe a 1 if you really want to go hardcore into stats, and you have like 1700 HP and you do a lot of damage. On top of that, Dragonite scales very well. Like, this hero's talents are incredible. I'm gonna go down them right now. At level 10, he either has negative 30% breathe fire damage reduction, meaning that the damage reduction on breathe fire goes up to 55%. Think about that, guys. 55% damage reduction. Now, of course, that isn't additive damage, that's simply base damage, but against heroes like Slark and Weaver and Terrorblade that rely on a lot of stats, even PLs and Nagas, even though they can purge it, you just ruin their damage. They lose 55% damage. Now, on the other hand, if it isn't a good game for that, and they're mostly magical, or you don't think it's good because it's, you know, they have added damage from items like Deso and Daedalus, you can go 3 mana regen, which is good too. At level 15, you can take 400 health or 30 damage. Great options. At level 20, 20% cooldown reduction or 25 strength, another 2 great options. And finally, at level 25, you have a 2-second Dragon Tail stun or 2 times Dragon Blood HP regen and armor. Now, I personally prefer the 2-second Dragon Tail stun because it makes your stun a 5.25 second stun. 5.25 second stun on a 9-second cooldown. Do you understand what that means? You are longer than black holing someone. Now, of course, it's not AoE, but that's crazy. It's a 5-second stun. What more do I have to say? Next up, let's get into Monkey King. Been slightly popular this tournament. Only 19 games with an 11-8 score at a 58% win rate, which isn't crazy, but I do want to mention that a lot of teams and teams that are top tier teams are picking it. I've seen Secret pick it, and I've seen OG pick it, which definitely puts it on my radar as something that could be viable in the meta. And the reason I say this is that I've been liking the idea behind this Echo Saber, including stats. Obviously, you're either going to go Treads or Phase Boots, and potentially a Wand as well, into an Axe and a Radiance, and it's been making these Monkey Kings a major threat in team fights. And I do want to say that I think Monkey King is a bit better in team play than solo queue. You can stomp in solo queue if you pick a favorable laning matchup, but if you don't have a favorable laning matchup, he's viable mainly because his ultimate is like a Kato ultimate that lasts forever and can't be killed. Like, I want you to think about that. Why would an ulti like Monkey King's be so valuable in the pro scene? Because you sort of just isolate targets. Let's say a Terrorblade and a Dazzle that were picked together in combo, or a Huskar and a Dazzle that were picked together to be used in combination, get separated by a Monkey King ulti. You are completely disrupting their ability to play together, and that's why I think Monkey King ulti is so strong right now. On top of that, if you combine the fact that his ultimate gives armor with the new high HP pool you're going to get from Treads, Echo Saber, and stat items, you then are unbelievably tanky. Axe gives you a lot of HP as well, and then you basically are a frontline Monkey King. And Monkey King in the past has struggled because in the mid game you get picked off. I see a lot of Monkey Kings rushing Maelstrom, or Diffusal, or even a Deso. And it's not necessarily bad always, but you can get picked off. So I really like this variant that people are going now, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys. Next up is Weaver, and I agree with a lot of the analysts in what they've been saying about Weaver, which is this hero as a safe laner can feel a bit weird. If you can run over the enemy team and you have other heroes that can push with you, such as Beastmaster and maybe a Dragonite mid, I'm okay with the idea of Weaver safe lane, as it's a pretty damn good lane dominator, and then you have some tower damage from other heroes. But if you don't have tower damage, the enemy team can kind of just stall you out, as you can't really siege high ground ever as Weaver. You're just too squishy, and then your Sakuchi is basically useless under tower. You're gonna need other heroes to supplement that. And on top of that, what I do want to mention is that Weaver is being picked as a core, support, and an offlaner. Safe laner, support, and an offlaner, which is crazy. All three of these roles, because bugs are insane. Period. Bugs are insane. That's all I have to say. Now, his other spells are good too. His Sakuchi does quite a lot of damage, lets him be mobile as well as a scout. He's very good for kicking outposts as a support, as you're very mobile and hard to kill. Your Geminate is good as a support because it gives you a flat amount of damage, which doesn't necessarily scale, but it's good for the early to mid game. And on top of that, as I said, bugs reduce armor. They let you take Roche. They're great for laning, as if, you're against a tri-lane, you bug 3 heroes, and they just have negative armor. And then finally, we have the fact that his Axe is crazy. If you guys don't know what Weaver Axe does, is it makes his ultimate go down to a 12-second cooldown, and then when it's a 12-second cooldown, you can use it on allies and make them time-lapse, gaining all their HP back and purging anything that was on them. And last but not least, we have one of the most popular heroes of the tournament, a position 4 hero, actually / position 3 hero, at the 13th most picked hero, 35 games, 20 wins, 15 losses, 57% win rate. Not insane, but definitely good, and that is Tusk. Now, I recommend picking Tusk in your pubs if you either are a Tusk god in the position 4 role, or if you're duo queuing with friends, or, I guess 5-manning with your friends, and you can pick it with another lane dominator. The reason why I say this is I think Tusk has 2 main options that really lets him crush the laning stage with his tag team potential, and that's pairing him with heroes like Oracle, or Dark Willow, or Lina in the laning stage, position 4s that can attack a lot, because tag team naturally does well with them, or you can put him in tri-lanes. You buy an Orb of Venom, you take tag team or your shards, you block people in, and you basically guarantee kills anytime your spells are off cooldown. And so yeah, if you have friends to coordinate your ganks with, Tusk basically sets up kill after kill after kill, and he's one of the best heroes in Dota, if not the best for ganking mid right now, as he prevents you from having to dive the tier 1 mid super far, as he makes kills very quickly and prevents people from running away. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is I actually really like Tusk's new level 10 talent, which is 0.5 second duration on punch. While it might seem underwhelming, it actually sort of gives Tusk a nice form of disable, and you can attack people when they're in the air and they're getting punched. So it really does let you chain stun with other spells, whether or not it's a Centaur stun or an Earth Spirit roll or a Lina LSA. It doesn't really matter. It keeps people in the air for long enough to the point where you actually get the full disable off. And yeah, that's primarily what I have to say about Tusk. Everything else that's been making him strong has been in Tusk's kit for a while. Tag team with punch still does an insane amount of damage. On top of that, his snowball save has been used over and over again to great success from these pros. And overall, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video of the top 10 most played heroes of this tournament and, most successful heroes that I recommend you try out as well. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. And hey guys, remember, before you end this video, in the link down below, I've been playing a lot of live games where I talk about my thoughts in real time in the middle of a Dota match. So if you want to get in the head of a pro player, click the link down below to the gameleap website. Super cheap right now, right? And I'm doing this a ton. We all have time on our hands. I have time to make content. You guys probably have time to enjoy and learn Dota, get better at the game. So yeah, if that combo works for you, click the link down below, and I'll see you there.